Dear students, in this video, we will study the plant nutrition part 2. It is chapter 6 of O-level biology 5090. In the previous video, we had discussed the part 1. Now, in this part 2, we will study some investigations. The first investigation is sunlight necessary for the process of photosynthesis? For this purpose, we have to take a one potted plant, and one potted plant will be kept in a dark room, or we will cover it with black paper, and then for about 72 hours, we will keep it to de-starch. So after 72 hours, we will wrap one leaf of that potted plant with black paper. We can wrap the whole leaf, or as it is shown in the diagram that you can see, the some part of the leaf is covered with black paper. Then we will keep this potted plant into sunlight for about 5 to 6 hours, and then we will detach one leaf and we will do a starch test on it. And you know, in the previous video we had discussed the method of starch test. So I repeat, in the first step, we have to keep this leaf into the boiling water to stop all metabolic reactions. Number two, to dip it or keep into ethanol solution or ethanol for about 3 to 4 minutes to dechlorize it. Then after dechloriization, it will become hard and brittle. So we dip it into boiling water again. And then at last, we will apply iodine, freshly prepared iodine solution on it. So after applying iodine solution, you can see the leaf just like it. You can see the central part, which was covered with black paper. This part was covered with black paper. So it was unable to manufacture the starch. So it is, you can say, brown or yellow in color. It shows that starch is absent, and due to black paper, the part of the leaf was unable to capture the sunlight for this process. So starch is absent, but the other two parts where the leaf was directly exposed to sunlight, these two parts which was directly exposed to sunlight, they are turned into blue-black color, which shows that starch present in these parts, because photosynthesis needs sunlight. So sunlight was provided to only these two parts which are changed into blue black color, but it was not provided to the central part which was covered with black paper. So it was unable to capture the sunlight. Chlorophyll was unable to capture the sunlight, due to which starch is not manufactured in this part of the leaf, and it remained yellow or brown. So in this way, we come to know that sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Now, in the next investigation, students, you know, all these investigations are for paper 4. And in the next investigation, we are going to study, is carbon dioxide necessary for the process of photosynthesis? Yes, we will find out. For this purpose, you can do this experiment. That is, you have to take two potted plants, After destarching, you can set an apparatus just like this. These two potted plants can be set under two bell jars, large bell jars which are made up of glass. So when they are set under the bell jar, in one setup, you can have potassium hydroxide solution or sodium hydroxide solution, which will absorb the carbon dioxide. It is used to absorb the carbon dioxide. In the other jar, there will be only water. There will be no solution of sodium hydroxide. So here you can say after 5 to 6 hours, we will keep this apparatus into the sunlight. And one more thing you must want to know that this air is without carbon dioxide. Why it is without carbon dioxide? Because potassium hydroxide will absorb all the carbon dioxide which is present in it. And in the other experiment where there is only water, so normal atmospheric air will be here which will have carbon dioxide in it. So after 5 to 6 hours, we will detach two leaves from both of these. And the leaf which we get from this potted plant, when it is, you can say, tested for starch, that at the end of the reaction, you can see the leaf will remain brown. The leaf will remain brown because there will be no process of photosynthesis due to the absence of carbon dioxide. So leaf will remain brown. But in this case, where carbon dioxide was present for this process, so what happened? This leaf, after the starch test, after applying iodine over it will be changed into blue-black color. So it shows if there is no carbon dioxide, there will be no process of photosynthesis. So if carbon dioxide is there, if it is provided to the plant, then there will be the process of photosynthesis. So as a result of photosynthesis, the starch will be manufactured. So in the next slide, we will have another investigation, which is chlorophyll needed for photosynthesis. Chlorophyll, very important, importance of chlorophyll, which captures the sunlight and then it changed the sunlight into chemical energy. And chemical energy is used to break down the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, and that hydrogen will be used to manufacture the carbohydrates because this hydrogen will react with the carbon dioxide. So here for this experiment, we will use variegated leaves. Variegated leaves are those leaves which don't have a complete leaf with chlorophyll. There will be the patches of chlorophyll. Some parts of the leaf will be absent without chlorophyll. So in some parts, chlorophyll be absent and some parts will have chlorophyll in them. So in this way, we can have the variegated leaf. You can see this variegated leaf and the green part shows that chlorophyll is here and the white or yellow part shows that chlorophyll is absent in these parts. So we will keep this potted plant into the sunlight, or sometimes we can perform an experiment over it without keeping it into the sunlight because already some parts of the leaves are without chlorophyll. So we will perform starch test on it. And again, the steps: boiling in water. Number 2, boiling in ethanol. Number 3, dipping in water. And number 4, we will apply iodine solution over it. So when we apply iodine solution over it, you can show the green parts of the leaf will turn into blue-black color. So in these parts, starch present. Starch will be present, but the parts which were already yellow or white, in those parts will remain, white or yellow. So it means starch is absent in those parts. So in this way, we can conduct investigation that chlorophyll is necessary or it is needed for the process of photosynthesis. In the next slide, we will discuss, is oxygen released during the process of photosynthesis? A very simple investigation can be conducted for this purpose by using branches of hydrilla shoots, which is a water plant. So for this purpose, we will take a large beaker full of water and we will invert a funnel over it, and under the funnel we will have that branches of hydrilla shoots, and then we will fill up a test tube with water and invert it over the stem of the funnel. And we will keep the separators again for 5 to 6 hours into the sunlight. Okay. In sunlight, when we will keep the separators into the sunlight, after some time, we will see some bubbles which are releasing from the stem of the this funnel into the test tube. So these can be the gas bubbles which is produced during the process of photosynthesis, because when we will keep the separators into the sunlight, the photosynthesis will start into it. So after 5 to 6 hours, we can have this test tube without any water drop. So we will take it out and then we will drop a burning matchstick into it. It will burn vigorously because oxygen can be present into it, or if it burns vigorously, it shows that oxygen present. Oxygen is present because oxygen helps in burning. If oxygen is not present, then carbon dioxide does not help in burning. So if it is burning, it shows the presence of oxygen, and we can say that oxygen is released during the process of photosynthesis. And in the next slide, we are going to discuss the limiting factors. The limiting factors limiting factor means the factors which can limit any reaction. So there are three important factors that can limit the rate of photosynthesis. And those limiting factors are: number one, light intensity, carbon dioxide, and temperature. All of these three can act as limiting factors. But we have to perform an experiment, or the scientist had performed that experiment to find out which factor is actually performing as a limiting factor. So in the next, there is a graph which will shows some limiting factors and rate of photosynthesis. So light intensity on one side and rate of photosynthesis will be on y-axis. So in first experiment, the graph one shows the first experiment in which the scientists use the 0.03% carbon dioxide and temperature was 20 degrees centigrade. You can say 20 degrees centigrade is low temperature for process of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis will be very slow, as you can see with this graph, that photosynthesis was very low at this. And in the second experiment, they took the carbon dioxide 0.03% and temperature was kept 30 degrees centigrade. There was a little bit increase in the process of photosynthesis by increasing temperature by 10 degrees centigrade. So after this, they performed third experiment. And in the third experiment, they increased the carbon dioxide instead of increasing the temperature. When they increased the carbon dioxide, it was 0.13% and temperature was kept 20 degrees C. Again, temperature was low for this process. So rate of reaction or the rate of photosynthesis was increased a lot. It was, this is the graph 3. Then in the fourth experiment or investigation, they increased the carbon dioxide by 0.13%. And then they also increased the temperature by 30 degrees centigrade. And it shows, graph shows, when both of these factors are working together, the rate of photosynthesis can be increased. It means temperature, carbon dioxide, both are important to increase the rate of reaction. Temperature should be high to provide the sunlight, and sunlight is there, then chlorophyll will capture that sunlight and change it into chemical energy. So requirement of chemical energy will be fulfilled to break down the water molecule. And if carbon dioxide concentration is high, definitely if more carbon dioxide is available, that the rate of reaction will also be fast. So in this way, these limiting factors will affect the rate of photosynthesis. So all they act as limiting factors. So students, we have completed part 2. Inshallah, in the next video, we will discuss the part 3 of chapter 6. Thank you so much.